Arsenal, a Spiral Knights podcast hosted by Lord Hood, Lazarus Clay, and Zagreus.
Episode 55, recorded on November 10th, 2013.
AD. I'm Lord Hood.
I'm Sang.
And I'm Lazarus Clay, and welcome to the Arsenal, a podcast where we talk about Spiral Knights. And for once, Lord Hood went first and Sang went second without running over each other after about 30 seconds of trying to figure out how to say the date. This is great. What's up, you guys? I didn't actually ask that to either of you.
Are you supposed to wait until after we open the lockbox and talk the mission report?
Arguably, yes, but we have... The thing is, it's a thing for me where since you have 3 minutes of intro music, there's like 3 minutes to talk about whatever you want that's completely unrelated to Spiral Knights before we get into our hour of power, as
Hour of power.
Call it.
And usually we overrun by about another hour.
Yeah, but, you know, we actually can't stay around after the end of the show, but that's completely unrelated.
Yeah.
I suppose we should just grab the lockbox. So, Hood, you got your lockbox from that pile that Canis Maximus gave us?
Yeah, here it is. I should have asked him to oil these before he gave them to us. They're always squeaky.
Probably should, because usually
Although
they
it is
don't make
helpful
that
for an
sound.
audio podcast to have squeaky things.
Otherwise, you couldn't tell. It's like we're totally like
We don't take very
riding
good care of our
motorcycles.
lockboxes for a reason. We can't. Otherwise, you wouldn't know that we're opening them.
Yep.
all right. Well, I guess we've got a bunch of different circular helmets with fuses in there.
Yeah, like Bombi
And
heads.
we've got science!
Yeah, I meant to say this too, but I'm sorry that we started science without you last week.
Yeah. What is
No,
this,
it's
like
fine.
property of
I
Zeddy
figured
or
you guys
something?
would have had to start sooner or later. I noticed because the one that you were talking about was not there. The one that you had in...
Yep. The moral of we have a new moral for this week, but the moral of last week's story is don't heat your shields. Your 5-star shields. Just don't.
Don't heat your shield.
Just not even worth it.
Now I feel dumb because I had to heat all those shields.
Yeah, well...
Well, they
And
look
I
pretty
didn't
when
know that there
you're
was a
being
difference.
inspected by people and they see like a level 3 shield or something. They're always like, I don't like this guy.
I have like 5-star shields that are all less than level 4, and I just haven't even bothered with them. If you're one of those people with like 5 million radiant heat crystals,
Go ahead.
then you're the exception, not the normal person.
We have Zeddy the Bear here. Zeddy the Bear has joined.
Oh, so he
Yay.
can tell us about the things that he told us about. We're basically
people
passing
have-
on.
And along with science and swirly masks with fuses on them, we're also going to be having a lot of questions for ourselves. Because you guys want to know about us. And we love you
Apparently,
too.
it seems to always work this way, and this isn't even planned, but every time we need content for an episode, we just conveniently have like 3 people ask us questions in like the previous 2 or 3 weeks of saying, here, answer this, answer this.
We just need to put up a forum post every so often that says, we'll answer your questions. What do you want to know about your Arsenal podcast hosts? And people will flock to ask us questions.
Well, the silly thing is we do say that, and we say that like at every episode, like tell us stuff, ask us questions, but contact
No one ever
us.
does. And yet
No one
when we
ever
put it
does,
in the-
so.
If we put it in the
I'm
forums,
gonna-
we probably get dozens and dozens of answers because everyone's there.
Yeah.
Not to say everyone listens to the podcast, not to say everyone enjoys the podcast, both of which are false, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait.
I'm gonna dress up as a old man and like disguise my voice and stuff and come on as a guest. Like Lord Hood is gone, but we found this homeless guy
People
in
know
the
what
bridge.
we kind of sound like
and
with
he's gonna speak
disguised
it.
voices. Kind
Oh,
of.
goodness.
If they were paying attention. Anyway,
Anyway, let's get started then.
let's move on to the mission report.
Alright, let's try this again. So basically,
No, actually, the excavators told the truth. It was me who lied.
Mission report.
Zeddy does ask the question, why haven't we gotten rid of daylight savings time again? And I say, good question. The only answer is the American economy.
Yeah.
Outside of that, this system should totally be done away with because it's messing up
Our
everyone.
economy is so bad. We have to
was
give
Ben
up
Franklin's
and take
fault.
back an hour every year.
Let's
It's
blame
got
Benjamin
that
Franklin.
bad.
Yeah, it was totally Ben Franklin's fault, and he
We
was
have to
practically
pay
British anyway.
and
So.
we have to pay and receive time in specific intervals because we can't manage it well enough.
Yeah, and it totally messes up podcast scheduling recordingness.
Yeah, it does.
And job stuff too. It messes up everything.
Daylight savings didn't exist, we probably wouldn't even notice anyway. We'd just say, "Oh, it's getting darker earlier." Oh,
really
it's getting
would be.
darker. It wouldn't really be noticed that much, but we're
Yeah,
getting off topic, which is what we do here.
Yeah. Well, we can afford that today.
Yeah, we can afford that. We have extra time. We
Yeah.
could fall back an hour so we get more
Well,
time.
let's talk
for
about the
ourselves.
Wheel of Misfortune.
Pardon?
The Wheel of Misfortune.
Oh yeah, the Wheel of Misfortune. I hope you guys have watched that because I had a ton of fun making that. I'm so totally doing that again. YouTube.com/Sklalete, and I should get some other people to do it with me because that would actually make it arguably easier. And so all this was it was a run from Depth 1 to Emberlight where I'd roll a dice, and the rolling of the dice would determine the gear that I used, the type of gear, and then the star.
Oh.
Where
Where
interesting.
1 through 5 is 1 through 5 star, and 6 is 0 star. And then you coordinate 1 through. You roll the dice. Roll the dice on this podcast.
Reckon these.
Roll the dice
Podcast.
twice per weapon pick, and because there's 1 is sword, 2 is gun, 3 is bomb, 4 is helmet, 5 is armor, 6 is shield. You roll the dice and you determine what you get, and then the type. You guys should totally check that out. The series starts on episode 7. It's the one that's called Wheel of Misfortune, and it keeps going. It's episode 8 is pellet gun. Episode 9 is shortcut or something like that.
And so on and
And
so
then
forth.
it keeps going, and there's it goes for 5 or 6 parts, and I'm totally going to do it again with some other people because it was a ton of fun. Not to mention the fact that I had to do depth 13 with 2 zappers, and that was it. That was abysmal. I had a bad dice or some bad die or something because it kept giving me 2s, 2 for gun and then 2 for 2-star gun, and I don't have any.
Must have
Yeah,
been loaded.
It was awful. I was dual wielding zappers in depth 13 or 12, something like that.
But we can't dual wield yet.
But
But I have 2 zappers with ASI
I know.
high from
I
Mission
know.
Awards. So
out of 2 million
know.
knights, only 1 has the ability to dual wield.
I just
Yeah,
can't
that
do it.
what's her name?
It's-
Valen?
Yeah.
Uh,
You put a sword in one hand, and then you try and reach for another one, and it's like a magnetic repelling force, and you
Yeah,
just
it's
can't
like-
do it.
Why can't I do it?
It's not possible.
Just when I could use 2 guns or 2 swords. Why?
Yeah. But that said, the rolling of the dice meant I was running with lots of 0 and 1-star gear, actually, which is kind of really dumb. But I heated lots of my 0 and 1-star things, so that's totally
That's
worth
good.
absolutely nothing.
It's not.
Please no. And then,
Because then you
I
have
got-
to spend so much more.
yeah, it's really, really dumb. Anyways, and
It's
then the last thing
incredibly
is
dumb.
yesterday I got a recording with Chalk 3 with Gameplay Flicks, and it is I don't want to call it a series, it's more like a one-hit wonder kind of thing, but it's called Clockwork's Copycat, and is what we're calling it. And you'll have to wait to see what that is. That will probably be... It probably actually won't even be out by next week, but it was a ton of fun to make as well, so that's something to look forward to. What have you guys been up? That was my week in its entirety. I haven't played too much else besides that. It's kind of recording, and that was about it. Lord Hood, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Forensic.
Very, very nice, very interesting. Saying, what about you? I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Actually, I haven't done anything interesting.
Okay, forget you then.
Browser games, maybe, and
Browser games? What is this, 2006?
yeah, really.
Hey, browser
I
games.
guess like
Well, actually,
Browser games are
Isn't Spiral Knights a browser game?
5 minutes.
Kind of.
It's kind of like
actually
playing.
true.
They're a great
let's see.
distraction if you're in a boring class.
That's what the Binding of Isaac is for.
Yeah.
I don't have the Binding of Isaac, unfortunately. That's why
Yeah,
I played
my
Dungeon
boring
Defenders
class
on my
is
iPad.
my boring class is forensic microbiology.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Or Plants vs.
Like, I
Zombies
don't-
2.
At the moment.
I don't actually like that game, to be completely honest.
Oh.
But it's not. I don't.
I was expecting more.
I dislike the game, not
was
the people who
late.
play
Moroka's
the game.
here now.
Zhang, what did you do this week?
What did I do this week? Not really a lot of Spiral Knights related stuff, to be honest. I might have popped in once or twice, checked to see if anything was actually happening, had to get the update, which was completely and utterly pointless because it didn't really do anything. It just extended something that obviously I don't really care about. But otherwise, just been playing lots of League of Legends, but that's just me.
You should totally get on the League of Legends podcast and do that.
I don't think there is a League of Legends podcast.
I'd be surprised if there isn't. I know there's a Smite podcast.
Well, of course there's a Smite podcast. I don't know if there was a League of Legends podcast and I got on it, I would be surprised. Honestly, because I don't think I'm good enough. I'm not that good at the game anyway.
All right. Well, that's okay. Did you see Dylan Vu's League of Legends animation?
No, but I don't really pay much attention to the League of Legends animations. The only ones that I really like are the stick fight ones, and and the other thing that I like watching that's League of Legends related is the series Break the Meta.
Okay. Well, it's probably one worth watching because I thought it was awesome, and I don't even play the game at all. So
Is that the one with the? Is that the one that's 3D and it's got the guy with the sword fighting against the guy with the two-prong thing? The girl with the two-prong things?
maybe yes.
Okay. Bye, Tavakia.
I've never seen it, but I can tell you all about it.
Mm.
Okay. Well, Spiral Knights podcast.
Yes,
Great
Spiral Knights
stuff.
podcast. Not League
Let's
of Legends.
actually totally get back on topic right
Yes.
now. Overheard at Moorcroft Manor. From the helmet of someone who likes some creature that requires a horn to fight with or something like that.
The helmet is supposed to be resembling to a demon called.
So, let's talk about all of the wonderful news that happened in the game this week, and by that I mean there is none!
Finally, we can actually do stuff that's not associated with news because there's actually none to have to deal with.
There
The
is
only
just
thing that really
one... Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing that really happened was the Dark Harvest Festival was extended to November 12th, which is unnecessary. Because
It
honestly,
was
most of
necessary for a few people, but it's not a bad thing. It's just not a significant thing.
Well, I mean, if you want to get more boxes, I guess you can do that, but...
If you want to buy 25 candies worth from crowns, sure,
yeah.
go for it. I kind of have 21 hard candies, and I've debated whether to spend 8,000 crowns to buy the 4
I
more
haven't even
candies.
used my candies because
but
I have
it's
all
not
the
even
I have all the things already.
Get
so
the
I don't
prize
need-
boxes, dude. Oh, that's something I did this week. I unboxed a haunted aura. Stop clicking. Stop. It's making noise on the mic. I unboxed a Hallow aura from it. Hallow, why did... Words, they're just so hard. A haunted aura from a prize box
buy
this week.
prize boxes with the candies.
You
Yes.
did not...
Where
what?
do you think you get the prize boxes?
Where have
I
you
haven't
been for the
paying
past,
attention.
month?
I thought it was just the hats again with the Apocrypha thing being a background thing. I didn't know that.
Suddenly, that November 12th deadline seems like a very special thing. Go get yourself some boxes and unbox yourself a haunted aura and make 100,000 crowns instantly, because that's a good
Is
thing.
that what you did?
I still have
Nah,
mine. I don't know if I'm
consider
going to
it.
use it or sell it.
Honestly, I have no.
I did not actually get anything else that's super interesting. I bought a couple of pairs of Hallow sunglasses, or glasses, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And I made, it's for the few of you guys that have seen me, I'm not using it anymore, but I recreated my entire costume in just, like, I fell into a bucket of orange paint, so I was using the Hallow hood and the Hallow flak jacket, and I had a Hallow comm unit and the Hallow glasses. So I just stand in Haven and keep switching between my normal costume and my Hallow one, and it's like I'm blinking blue and orange. It's silly.
It's funny.
But that's that. As Maroka said
You'll
in a
glitch
recent...
one of these times and it'll look like you're half blue and half orange, and it's just like, help me!
I actually did glitch the game this week. I got stuck in an Arsenal station. I closed the Arsenal station, and I was there doing the eternally closing the Arsenal station. Like, I was and just eternally closing it, and I had to, like, go have someone join me and then go solo to reload the level, and it was fine. But
you didn't have to call any of the GMs?
I thought about it, but it just totally wasn't worth it. It was like Depth 9 or something, and yeah, it was just while I was recording for the Wheel of Misfortune. I have it on video. You guys will see it later this week. So,
reminder to the public.
But as Maroka said in a recent Button Mash video, and you guys should totally check that out at youtube.com/buttonmashempire, but he said, you can finally get rid of your abysmal, ugly orange costume and go back to your normal costumes. And yes, please do. No more orange painted stuff.
Honestly, I never really liked the Halo stuff.
I want like some black stuff, and not like the black stuff.
I mean, the winter stuff at least looks decent, but the Halo stuff just it's too bright to me.
Off black? No, off white. Because the Apocrypha stuff wasn't all quite black. It wasn't like deep black.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like...
I would just like to point out that these two
black.
just spent 5 full seconds talking on top of each other again. So, just wanted to point that out. And we'll keep working, as we're working through our costume discussions in Buzz Our Banter anyways, we'll get to everyone's favorite and least favorite of the colors.
Yeah. But anyway, we have a reminder to the public.
Before we get going, I just wanted to make this very clear because kind of all 3 of these happened this week in various shapes and forms, and it's not against the people who did them or anything like that, but just to be clear...
If you're paying attention, listen so that you don't do it again.
Yeah, please, because these have happened within the last month. The first one didn't happen this week. But if you are going to talk to the hosts of the podcast, especially if we don't particularly know you, and you send a tell and go, hello, are you online? Don't insult the hosts or the podcast, because that's just not fun. And if you want to offer constructive criticism because you don't like it, that's fine. But you don't need to insult the hosts, and you don't need to insult the podcast just because.
Most likely that's just going to earn you an ignore.
Pretty much.
Because honestly, unless you're actually trying to be constructive with the way that you're speaking, or helpful in the way that you're speaking, you're just going to be considered a troll, and you're not going to be worth our time.
Alright. Do not offer the hosts spoilers. I got hey, you want to see the new guns? Like, multiple times this week. And every time... I said, first of all, if you listen to the podcast, you know that I've already seen the new guns, and 2, no, don't offer the host spoilers. Don't look at this. This is in the game files. It's not going on the podcast, and I don't really care to see it anyways. Maybe you guys like to see the spoilers.
No, not particularly.
Nah, if I
haven't actually looked
at
them,
if I really need to find them, I'll just look them up as I see fit. Honestly, I don't need people telling me stuff.
Right.
Hey kid, you want to buy some JPEG files?
Myself.
And then, lastly, do not offer the hosts complaints about the game, i.e., 3 Rings doesn't update often enough. This is a dumb update. Stuff like that. Because
this
frankly...
isn't even an update. This is an extension.
Frankly, for the most part, and this is just in general, people talking about Radiant Fire Crystal's not in the Clockworks anymore, Mist Energy is gone, replayable, noobs are all over...
We know this.
We're not
I
developers,
know this already.
you guys.
I had to go through it.
Yeah, and here, let me be clear about this. A, we generally already know that things happen because it's our job to be on top of the news, but that's kind of horn-tooting of ourselves. B, for the most part, and I just want to make this clear, for the most part, we support 3 Rings, not condemn them, okay? We were always like, haters stop hating on this show. That's how it's always been. It's like, Battle Sprites update, didn't have everything we wanted, but it's a good update. Guildhall update, didn't have everything we wanted, but it's a good update. 3 Rings, like the 12 people that are working there or something like that, are doing a good job for just being 12 people making a game that hundreds of thousands of people
for the amount
play.
of people that they have. When you consider other games that have immense groups of people working together and theirs fail, you can get mad at them. This is 12 people we're talking about. This is like a group of friends who are linked together by phones and Facebook messaging. You can't demand everything from them. They're trying their hardest.
And when there are things wrong with the game, like you can't bump or remove from guild halls and Radiant Fire Crystals aren't in the Clockworks, there are ways to solve those problems, and until they get fixed, don't come to us expecting to find sympathy, because you're just going to get yelled at by us, like you just did, because we support the game, not condemn it. That's kind of all I want to say about that, but, I mean, that's a thing. And
I can't even find any I can't even find any articles or anything on the new guns, so honestly, I'm just going to wait patiently. I know Three Rings has an office, Clipic. I know that. But I'm just saying, 12 people.
Ish.
Even if they had 12-ish. Even if they had an office, it doesn't change the fact that it's only a small group of people working on a game that still is serving probably, what, thousands?
Close to
tens of thousands?
I would
hundreds
guess
of thousands of people?
above 1 million. Last count.
There are over 1 million knights that have been created.
1 million! And 12 people have to manage all these people and their complaints and their suggestions, and they have to file through them all.
Though from what we can tell, at least 700,000 of them don't actually play the game at all. They're like alternate accounts.
It's like that with most games.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
unfortunately.
In Dragons of Atlantis, there's like cities in the maps, and like there's like thousands of empty cities that you can just destroy at will.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Yeah. Just not something worth complaining about.
Right. So that's kind of all I want to say about that. But next, someone sent us this, I think maybe being curious and silly at the same time.
For the hosts by an anonymous, perspicacious
Did you write this, Hood? What is this?
it's an animal.
Invalid link. For the host by an anonymous, perspicacious loris. Okay, that's something that Hood did. Do you care to explain?
It's a reference. People who will get it will get it. And people who don't.
Perspicacious loris.
It means
perspicacious loris.
Perspicacious means like sly or cunning or shrewd.
Loris.
And loris is like a little monkey thing.
Loris. So it's by a sloth.
No,
it's by a sly gremlin. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, they're
But they're not monkeys. Well, we don't know what they are, so I don't know.
They're gremlins. I don't... Okay, well, the questions... Well, the statements that were asked were describe Spiral Knights in 5 words. And describe the Arsenal podcast in 5 words. And I've not given this any previous thought.
I actually was just thinking about this about 5 minutes ago. Because I saw it. It's like, okay, what do I answer with this? What do I answer with this?
Spiral Knights in 5 words?
Grind, heat, rinse, and repeat. And I just rhymed.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That is just super clever. That might end up being the title for the episode.
How did I come up with that? I don't know how I did that. That rhymed just a complete and utter random. I'm sorry.
Grind, heat, rinse, and yeah, something like that.
That sounds like a good song. SK's official.
It sounds like an SK commercial.
SK's official slogan is what Greenlink just said. That's great.
Grind, heat, rinse, and repeat. It sounds like something you'd hear on a stupid commercial.
Yeah, pretty much.
When they start putting out web commercials again for Spiral Knights, they're gonna use that. It's just like grind, heat, rinse, and repeat. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. And at the end, your name will be like in the small print in the disclaimer thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
That appears for like 3 frames before the end of the commercial.
Okay, I thought of a new name. Or 5 words.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. New. Be a monster murderer.
Be a monster murderer.
Be
a monster murderer. Destroying innocent families since 2010. Or when was it?
Destroying innocent families since 2000. That works.
I mean, how about destroying gremlin families since 2011? 10.
Destroying innocent mobs since 2010.
Yeah.
That's Minecraft, though.
I guess.
Destroying innocent creatures since 2010.
Deserves more credit than given.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. And the Arsenal podcast in 5 words. Too much of my time. Yeah, that's it. Too much of my time.
We like to wing it.
Do hyphenated words count as one word?
Hyphenated
I don't know,
words?
it depends.
I think...
Like
I think,
too much off topic?
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
is it
that's
too
fine.
Like,
Too much off-topic Zang rambling?
yeah.
I only
much
say that because the
off-topic
title...
Zang rambling.
Too much off
If
topic.
you're gonna make Zang
much.
rambling like a single word, too much.
Well, off topic is one
off-topic.
word.
Yeah, if off-topic
Oh.
is one word.
It's hyphenated.
Wait, why
Instead
am
of
I
proper-
being pointed out?
Well,
for
the
everything?
only
Larry
reason
does
I
it just
say
as
that
much
is
as I do.
because a few episodes ago, the title of the episode was The Ramblings of an Infuriated Zang, because you were mad that you only had level 9 Betty, because of the lack of Radiant Fire Crystals.
That was only one time.
But it's a title episode, so it's a thing. Okay, so too much off-topic...
No, just keep it
Nonce.
Zang. Honestly, I don't really care.
I'm not...
How about too much off topic? Let's see.
Host rambling.
Ridiculous hearsay.
God damn it! You know what? Just keep it how it is. I don't really care.
It doesn't really matter. Okay, well that's...
Too much off-topic, ridiculous hearsay. Okay. Science.
Woo! Alright, welcome back to the Spiral Knights lab. If you've been keeping up with Spiral Knights Impractical, maybe you've started to hear this. I actually am just starting to wrap my head around how this works, but we are talking about statuses in general and how they work.
I'm gonna sit this one out, guys. Let Zeddy step in here.
But Zeddy is here.
They're coming up, they're giving their own right now, searching some of the cast of the past. Eddie says, we have lots of bumpers. HRVV
Zeddy,
says,
come on, we're doing science.
HRVV says, social network in the clockworks.
Luther failed in.
This is not a podcast by Green Lake.
We should do what the next one should be, is we should have a contest. Yeah, we totally should. Impromptu random contest, because there's a bunch of hashtags in the thing right now. Send us your most creative Arsenal podcast or Spiral Knights related hashtag or hashtags, and
Yeah.
we will reward you with 1,000 light shards or something silly.
Because everyone wants 1,000 light
A
shards.
million.
I don't know.
Echo
I'll
drops.
come up with something, but you got a week for that. I'm
$1,000.
gonna write that in here because we have a hashtag
All right.
contest
Yeah.
for next week. Totally do that. Send us something and we'll just pick the best one. All right.
All right.
So
For
this-
science today, we are talking about general status.
Pretty much.
Yes.
So how this works is as far as we can tell, there's at least 28 steps of status. Some people swear that there's just 28. I tend to believe that there's more than 28 because you can't be resistant to certain statuses. But hey, Boise in the chat says, hashtag you're stupid, your ideas are stupid, and no one likes you anyways. Likes them anyways. Well, send it to us. Like I said, we don't count, for contests and stuff, we don't count anything in the live stream chat, because some people can't make it to the live stream, so that's kind of just not cool. Send it to us, arsenal@squidleaf.com, email, or anywhere else. Oh, and Morocco was putting the same thing in. Arsenal is stupid and its ideas are stupid. Wow. And Third Wing says,
Wing says
the
hashtag stop
hashtags.
the hashtags.
And Morocco's hashtag no.
Hashtag beep. No.
Alright, well, okay, so how the status works is, in general, the way that most people look at it is -6 to 8, where it's a range, where 0 is kind of the middle ground. Each step is a low UV, so a low UV provides you with one... it counts from -6 to 8 in half steps, so if you count from -6, -5.5, -5, -4.5, -4, and go up, that's 28 dashes on
8?
your number line.
So from -6 to 8, it's
Yes, is 28 half steps.
Okay.
Or 14 steps total, because -6 minus 8 is -4. Anyways, so a low UV is 1, a max UV is 4, so you 2... From 0, if you have 2 max UVs on something, then you are at 8, which is your resistance. And just to include this scale, 2-star trinkets are 0.5 in this resistance scale. In other words, there's
Don't use
literally
them
no
because they're
point
crap.
to use them.
Yeah.
5-star trinkets is 2, which actually can be... 3-star trinkets and above can be useful for something, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. And most armors that have status resistance offer the +4 resistance. So your Divine set and your Volcanic Salamander and anything that offers status resistance is usually +4, with just a few exceptions. So a full set will be +8. Chaos, your Mad Bomber, your Cirrus, those kinds of things that offer negatives are -2. You can just count it and eyeball it with the pips and usually tell.
Well,
And then
usually
they're-
the pips are in a counter of their own, aren't they?
Yes.
They
So
have
you
like
can just see.
they go up from like 4 pips to like 5 stuff.
Yep. And then the Snarblack's coat is a +3 instead of a +4, which is kind of interesting and makes for some actual,
Yeah.
if you want to be resistant to certain things, you have to do a little bit extra with the Snarblacks.
And yeah,
'Cause a full
everyone
set-
wanted the Snarlax costume when it came out. Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Now you got to start questioning your choice.
I need to get back in the Shadow Layers and craft my other Snarblacks piece.
Yeah.
Totally. Anyways,
And
enemies...
Steel plus status, but there are many
This is-
exceptions.
Yeah. This is like... saying that enemies deal 4-star status is like saying there's a rule in the English language. There's just as many exceptions as there are actual
Yeah.
coherences to the rule.
Yeah.
But in
can-
in general, you can assume +4 unless there's reason to think otherwise.
Like, you cannot end a sentence with the word "the."
Think about it.
Think about it.
Think about it. Okay.
Yeah, you can't really end a sentence with the word "the" because that wouldn't work.
You can't end a sentence with the word "the."
See?
Yeah.
Can you end a sentence with the word "the"? You just did.
Wait. Damn it! That does work.
See,
No.
now you
can't.
he
No.
figured out.
You can't. And we're rambling again. Anyway, some of the exceptions are Spookats. They only give +3, and Zombie
Lumbers
Swipes
as
are only
well.
+0.5.
Right.
And it does not seem to be possible to fully resist +4 statuses.
Yes, so this includes things like Zombie Breath is +4 as far as I can tell, because I cannot stand in Zombie Breath and never catch on fire, even if I have like +15 resistance to fire. It just doesn't work.
In
But
Lockdown,
but
Haze
the fire
Bombs
only
are
lasts
+2 and
for,
thus
like,
resistible.
3 seconds.
Polaris is +4 and thus 4 is not. Therefore, it is pointless to overload yourself with volcanic demo helms and armor with 2 soaking whetstone pendants and Sprite Fire high resistance for +15 because it doesn't do anything against the strongest status dealers.
In other words, you max out at +8. So when you are eating Polaris, which is a +4 in Lockdown, you just can't be resistant to it, so there's not much point.
Yeah.
And so Volcanic Demo Helmet and Armor would be +8. That's +4. 2 Soaking Whetstone Pendants is +2. Sprite Fire High is +3, so you get 15 total, and it just doesn't even matter.
You might as well just
So-
be taking the volcanic demo helmet armor only and then just be putting the other points into a different status altogether.
And Zeddy's like, okay, well, the Polaris is actually +2, and you're immune to it with 9 resistance or 11 or something. So, completely disregard that. See, now it's just going to be Zeddy and Krakow yelling at us in the chat going, you guys are stupid, and your ideas are stupid, and you're wrong.
He's like, it's 11. I mean 9. 9 is the lowest.
9, and...
I think it was 9.
They're not even... Okay.
No, it was 11. No, I'm sure it was 9. You must be
Children,
mistaken.
What did you do?
Anyways, the way to determine how strong the status damage you're going to take is you just take the strength of the status that's being attacked, that's being applied to you, and subtract the defense that you have. Okay? So you take
So the attack that's being dealt out, you subtract defense from it.
Right.
That's why
So
it's
if I
in the
have
negatives then.
if I have a freeze lumber, that's a +3. If I'm wearing Black Cat, I want to say that's correct me, but that should be a freeze +4 because it's a full freeze, not a +3.
Yeah.
So
And then it's like, what is it?
if I'm wearing,
everything else is like -4 or something, or -2.
pardon?
The Black Cat cow's negative status.
Oh, right, yeah.
They're
So,
like
but-
-4, -2, or something like that.
Right. I'm thinking about the freeze right now though. So a freeze lumber, a silver sap hits me that's a +3 freeze, and if I have my Black Cat, that's +4. So 3 minus 4 is -1. So I'm going to take -1 of freeze. And this is where it gets confusing, so hang in there. When
This is
you
where
calculate...
things get a little crazy.
When you calculate statuses this way, -6 means as resistant as you can get. 8 means as bad as you can get, okay? Because if you think about this, let's say a zombie swipe, okay, in Firestorm Citadel, one of the Slagwalkers, that's a 0.5. If I'm wearing full chaos, that's 0.5 minus a -4, okay? Because it's subtracting a -4. So
Yeah,
it
then
adds, and
so it's
so you're
4.5.
at 4.5, which is more fire damage, which makes sense because you're wearing chaos and you're supposed to burn for longer.
Yeah.
So -6 is more resistant. 8, on the other hand, is very vulnerable. The only
It is
reason that
essentially if you're wearing like a black cat cowl and you're hit by a curse.
yeah, kind of. It's like if you're wearing full Valkyrie and
I have to wait
get hit by
56
Combustor.
seconds. I have to wait 56 seconds after I'm hit with a curse. It sucks. It sucks.
And
That is
so
a long time.
the only reason it's confusing is because normally looking at it, when we say, okay, so my Black Cat Cal has +4 freeze resistance, right?
Mm-hmm.
+4 meaning more resistant. But
Yes.
when you calculate statuses, +4 means that's kind of pretty bad. That's closer to 8 than it is to -6. So it's kind of backwards. When you look at the armor straight up, we say that it's +4 resistance. But then when we calculate defense, you kind of want -4 over +4. -4 would be better. So that's the confusing thing.
Wait,
But
so you want negative resistances over positive?
when you calculate the status, yes. So when you take that, when you do that status strength minus defense, you want to be as negative as possible. But you want your armor itself to be as positive as possible.
Wait, so no, wouldn't? But that's bad. Because I'm thinking like
It's
this.
basically
you
two
got a
scales.
high fire
This-
attack, but then you have to subtract negative resistance.
Right. If you subtract something negative, then you're adding.
Yes, but that means
Which
you're
means-
taking more damage.
Yeah, you get a bigger number. You get a bigger status number at the end
But
of
that's
it.
bad if it's good if you're trying to inflict status and that's the case, but it's bad if that's the status being inflicted on you because then you have to wait longer for the status to be gone.
Yes. Of course.
So wouldn't you want positive numbers so that it's negative so that you don't have to deal with the status for longer?
Yes. Yes, that's correct. You want
That's what I'm
when you
saying because that kind
You're-
of confused me there.
when you calculate your final stat, when we're talking about, let's talk about PvE, because PvP is going to get confusing about which night we're talking about. PvP. If I take a attack with a certain strength, let's say +4, because that's the most prevalent one, and subtract my resistance, let's say full Skull set from a freeze attack, okay? So that's 4, -4, -4 from the helmet and the armor. I end with -4. That's good.
Yes.
That's
That is
good.
good
It's
because
as
then
negative as
you're
possible.
not taking. That's not even a lot of freeze. That's like maybe 2 seconds of freeze if you're
About 4, I think, but yes.
4 seconds of
Maybe
freeze.
5. Yeah, it's. I want to say freeze duration is 4 to 10. I have my charts around here somewhere. Well, Zeddy's
Zeddy
charts.
put up a chart there. I want to
he's
click
got
on
his,
it.
his thing.
I
there.
can't click on it because Livestream does not want me to bring up pop-ups because Livestream is redacted.
Yeah. Now once again, just to clarify, so you want your numbers to be negative in that sense, but at the same time, if I just look at the helmet and the armor, my Skulver is giving me +4 resistance. My Snarblack's coat is giving me +4 resistance. Pluses are good. When we're just looking at the armor, I have +8 resistance. That's a good thing. But then when I'm calculating damage and I have my 4 -8, -4 is the better thing. When you calculate it, you want it to be more negative. So it's kind of a flip-floppy scale. But you kind of have to think of it both ways.
That I have it for later. Okay.
I've
Sorry.
actually been memorizing that doc for about a month now. Just learning different things, statistics and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, I really wish Spiral Knights was more technical than it was, but it's not. So I'll take what
So
numbers I can
essentially,
get.
you're saying that having a positive number after the damage calculation is out is better or worse?
Is worse. You want
Okay.
high numbers
well,
just looking at the armor.
that could easily be determined.
It can
Yeah,
be.
we could determine that.
It can be, yes. All you have to know is the strength of the attack that you're attacking, which is why we went through those, and how much resistance you have.
And since you can only have a maximum resistance of 8 in total, right?
Well, you can have more than that if you use pendants or sprites or
it caps out at 8 because you can't, right?
Yes. No, just kidding. No.
It doesn't cap out at 8.
The scale is locked to -6 and 8. So 8 being the worst that it can be, and -6 being the best that it can be, and it can't go beyond there.
Yeah.
If you ask me a question about this, I'm going to say.
Based on your little scenario that you have set up in the thing here, where you got plus 15 resistance, and you're getting hit by, say, a fire attack that's plus 4. That's
right.
4 minus 15. That's minus 11. It's not going to classify it as minus 11. It's going to classify it as minus 6.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And that's why, and again, I'll repeat this, and then we'll kind of be done with the numbers for this week.
Yeah,
but remember at the beginning when I said 20...
I think a lot of our people are getting bored. No offense, but...
Go watch Spiral Knights Impractical. It's easier to show when you have video to watch, too. But remember at the beginning I said 28 steps of status ranging from -6 to 8 in half steps? And why I said some people swear by the fact that it's only 28, and I think it's more than 28, we just can't get past 28, is because that -6 locks, and you can't get past -6, even though in theory you should be able to, and it's impossible to be resistant to +4 attacks at the moment. A Fang of Vogue charge is over +4, which means it is impossible to be resistant to it. You will light on fire, no matter if you're wearing full Volcanic Demo or full Vogue, with 2 Soaking Whetstone Pendants, plus Fire High Resistance, plus Fire Maxes on both of your armors and Fire in your shield. It doesn't matter. You will light on fire.
Fire damage. And the fire damage that thing gives off is crazy.
Because you resist you resist down to -6.
Yeah.
Beep. And it won't go any farther than that, so that is the thing. Green Lake says, continues listening and pieces together jigsaw puzzles. +4 10's not going to put 5.
I did a 1,000-piece puzzle.
Once you get to... Now, this is something, and Zeddy's trying to say this, and I didn't really want to get into this. Once you get into about -5 or -6 in resistance, like, it starts doing weird things. Like, for statuses, right? As you go higher up on the scale, you take more and more fire damage, and it tapers out towards the asymptote as you get closer to -6. That is literally all I'm going to say about that, and we should totally move on.
Yeah, because we have questions to answer, and these are going to probably be more entertaining.
Shield your brain from numbers, and definitely just go check out Spiral Knights Impractical, because I have
that chart that Zeddy put up, because that chart actually looks really, really good at calculating damage and stuff.
Yep.
Anyway.
It's got a lot of data on it. Alright, so we've got a list of, how many questions is this? 18 questions.
This is going to be long.
From Origami
Guy. Thank you, Origami Guy. That's probably my shout out for the questions, because I like answering these. These are fun.
Yeah. I think the thing is, this shouldn't take too long per question.
Probably not.
So, I think it was intended to be each host takes turns answering one question, so I'd answer 1, Hood answers 2, Zang answers 3, and on and on.
I think that if we want to do that, we can do that. That's fine.
But I think just because they tend to be short. Sorry, I'm talking over you. My apologies. But
that's fine.
They're so short that I think we can all just go, especially if we start right now.
All right. So, Lat, what is your favorite haze bomb? Shock, stun, freeze, fire, or poison?
Shock, followed by poison, but shock because it removes invincibility frames and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyone dissent? Okay, moving on. What's the most annoying monster type? How about Gorgos?
I gotta say, are we going by actual the monster's species?
Type?
Whatever.
Then I'm gonna have to stick with the old tried and true. I'm gonna have to stick with Devilites because they're just broken. They're broken.
I'm gonna have to agree. I agree with everything, including the expletive.
Okay. And the expletive to cover the expletive. All right. Yeah. What's your favorite kind of meat? Is this a question? Let's go with bacon.
Probably.
Bacon.
Now we have to say bacon.
Because I like hot dogs and hamburgers. So I'm going to have to say hot dogs and hamburgers.
That's cool, too. What is the most embarrassing or frustrating way to die in Spiral Knights? E.g., being cornered by a Trojan, running into spikes, etc.
Being hit in the back by your teammate's thrown fire jar.
Ooh.
He's like, don't worry, I'll kill it for you.
Is if you're basically trying to just casually run through a group of skeletons, zombies, and you're trying to time it right, and then suddenly out of nowhere they all just swipe at you in a descending order so that you take every single hit until you die. I've had that happen to me before. It sucks.
I've had it happen to me before that I finished the last room in an arena, and I am running to collect the things and walk over some spikes and die. Like, the corner of my foot bumps into the side of the spikes, and I go, and fall down and die. Because
end of room deaths. Yeah, end of arena deaths, where it's just like, I did all this, and then suddenly you die. It's like...
Yep, pretty much. And lagging into traps and things like that.
Yeah, that's why I said lag first. Lag is the most
or attempting
frustrating way
to
to
walk
die,
through a trap
this
and
game
then
still
having
has
it
not
activate under
completely
you
fixed
and
that issue.
dying.
Anyway, next question is for me, Lattice Scully or Lord Hood.
What kind of a question is that?
I don't know.
It's not even fair.
But it actually
the
has
best
to make
kind
me
of
think,
question.
because I honestly don't think I could decide. Because I like both of you for different reasons.
Well, that's fine then.
I'll just stick with that. I
That's a
beating
good
the
answer.
question. I say both.
If you could make any one accessory or costume, anything from an aura to a helmet, what would it be?
A cape.
Void gear.
Void gear. A void cape.
Or a wearable purple spiral artifact.
That would actually be kind of cool too. I want the shield bracer to be an actual thing, so that it looks like your shield is invisible
like a force
except for a
field.
bracelet. Or I want the ability to make it so it looks like you've got big gauntlets.
I'm actually going to say community costume, because I'm going to revive that petition
Like
that
the
never
Guildhall
got...
things?
No, the community... Here, let me... I still have it bookmarked. Let me read this. This was a project back when it was forum node 67861, so... Let's see. Where does it say this? The letter, to whom it may concern. The letter has been written by Lattice and Lord Hood, co-host of the Arsenal podcast. We represent many members of the community, blah, 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 blah. Our idea is to implement a community costume piece, maybe a helmet that expires 7 days upon being granted and would have the name or description indicated and generated and distributed to people who make fan art for Fan Art Friday, forum people who do cool things on the forums, people who do cool things on the podcast, things like that. Helpful forum contributors, contest winners, lockdown tournament winners, recognizable characters from Spiral Knights related projects, so like YouTubers and things like that. And we have like 5, about 25 signatures for that petition, but of various people. But yeah, that was the thing. It was an expirable costume that main people, like people who run the main blogs, could give out responsibly. And yeah, anyways.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
If you could make any one confetti, what would it be and what would it do? Rock and roll confetti, e.g. rock and roll confetti, dark red confetti that makes you play a hard rock guitar while stage lights shine on you.
Mine would be void confetti. It sucks the souls out of those around you. If you activate it and like a bunch of white souls come from any living thing around you.
I would want to make a better Hallow one, so that when you toss it up, it doesn't look like little bits of confetti coming down that are orange or stuff. I want to make them look like bats that flutter around you for a little bit.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I was thinking something along those lines of smoke confetti or something that just is a smoke cloud trail that would or would not have appropriate smoke physics.
Considering this game, smoke physics.
Well, if you were stuck on a hostile island and you could bring just one Spiral Knight's weapon, what would that weapon be?
Mighty Battle Cleaver.
A Fang of Volag would be useful because you could cut and cook with it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's just a source of heat.
Yeah, you just lay it down on the ground and warm yourself with it.
And I could tell you what you shouldn't bring, and that's a Dread Venom Striker, because you're not supposed to keep that anywhere close to
You
your
kill a deer with it, and you'd eat it, and it'll be like, oh, I'm dying.
Wait, so you guys were saying like were you guys saying the Fang of Vogue? I could actually consider bringing the Fang of Vogue.
Yep.
Yeah, the Fang of Vogue. Otherwise, if it was hostile and I knew I'd have to fight a lot of things, I'd have to stick with my mighty battle.
I'm gonna bring a plate shield so I could bash things with it, but I could also use it as a shelter.
That's a thing too.
Is it a deserted island? Is that what it said?
It's just a hostile island.
Which most likely means that there's stuff that's going to be trying to kill you.
Yeah, so a Betty would be good. Yeah, that's
yeah.
What challenge, what danger mission is your favorite? Which challenge prestige mission it says?
Yeah.
Is my favorite.
Kingdom of Almire, maybe?
Yeah, I like the
Legion of
Almire
Legion of
one.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Legion of Almire.
Legion of Almire.
I
Heart of
actually
Ice is okay. But...
don't have a favorite. I was going to say Heart of Ice, actually.
I went through the Heart of Ice like once, and according to a friend of mine who doesn't play the game anymore, he said that was essentially the easiest one. I didn't really enjoy it because it was Gremlin. It was like not Gremlin City. It was Devilite City at one point, and I died like maybe 6 times.
Yeah.
If I ever do, whenever I do Compound 42, it's not.
But
enjoyable.
yeah, Legion of Almire has to be my favorite because it's. I don't know. It's kind of easy as well.
Cool. I'm going with Heart of Ice, just because people are saying in the chat the Zang of Vogue.
The Zang of Vogue. I actually have a Fang of Vogue that I don't use that often. The only reason I got it because I wanted to use it, and forgive me for this because this is probably the dumbest decision I ever made. I got it so that I could use it in the Firestorm Citadel.
You're good at this game.
GG, best player ever.
Speaking of FSC, and this is a really good question, and I'll tell you why. If you could give Vanaduke one Christmas present, what would the present be? And here's why it's a good question, because you can't give him coal, because he already has plenty of that.
Yeah.
So what would you give?
What would I give him? The ability to spawn a battle sprite so that we could use him to help us fight.
But we can argue use a flare.
Yeah.
That flare doesn't do anything! How dare you bring that up?
I would give Vanaduke... I don't know. I really don't know. I'd give him a Santa hat so he could wear it all year round because I like him with the Santa.
Oh wait, yeah.
But he only wears it for a little bit. I'd give it to him to wear all the time.
True. Yeah, I want to give him the ability to spawn battle. Ah, Sir Jinxable gave a good one in the chat.
A hug.
A hug.
Aw. Well, I mean, if you listen to the Apocrypha song on downwardspiralsk.bandcamp.com, you'd find out that it really isn't Vanaduke's fault. And it kind of isn't that Vanaduke is who Vanaduke is.
He was desperate to protect his kingdom, and unfortunately...
he's actually a good guy. And we're slaughtering the good guys. Another reason to say that knights are evil and snipes trying to kill knights are actually a very good thing.
Yeah.
But, hey,
well,
you're actually
to be honest,
on the
the
wrong
reason... When I think about it, he was a good guy, but he was corrupted, and we're just trying to purify him, or what's left of him. I try to think of us as possibly good, but at the same time, there's a good chance that we might be making the wrong decisions. We slaughter innocent animals for money and heat.
Exactly. Well, whether you're good or bad, this next question applies. If you could give a superpower to your Spiral Knight, what would the superpower be?
This goes back to like the limit break things that we were talking about.
That's what to say. Can I have limit breaks? That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to say. Can I just have limit breaks to make my
Nuclear breath?
Yeah, I want my limit breaks. I want a limit break with Betty so that when I do, I don't know. I'd have to consider what would I do with my mighty battle cleaver?
You would swing with it, and it would like send out like boomer curved shaped like scythe white knife things that would scatter about in front of you. I have a picture in my head, and I'm trying to think of it.
No, I think what happens is I hit it on the ground, and it spawns battle chef cloaked warriors from the ground, like illusions of them, and they're all wielding giant cleavers as well, and they stick around for like 12 seconds and are invincible and stuff, and they just kill stuff with me. Cleavers all around.
Well, that works too.
Spawning in the kitchen, that's what I'm going to call it.
I'm thinking of Virgil's attack.
Kitchen from hell.
Virgil's dash attack from DMC Devil May Cry is that picture I have in my mind of the curving white blades, but...
I think for my Dracon, it would probably be Nuclear Breath, which would be useful in battle, but probably wouldn't make it a fan of the Lady Dracon.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with the Kitchen from Hell, where I summon like two or three...
Alright. Otis Fett says, I'm totally just interrupting you and going on. Continue.
Superpower emerging crowns from the ground, and you can absorb them all.
It's like, what's it called?
I don't know how that would work. That kind of reminds me of the Pokemon ability Pickup, where once you get to a floor or new area, you, like, get a random thing.
That's such a good ability, even in the normal games. What's your favorite chocolate candy?
Happy...
E.g. Reese's Pieces, Toblerone, 80% dark chocolate.
Reese's peanut
I'm
butter
gonna have
cups.
to go with Happy Hippos. They're the best chocolate ever.
Happy Hippos.
You ever heard of those? They're really good.
I'm gonna say that I would most likely go for some 80% dark chocolate with some coffee nibs in it. That's probably where I'm at. I'm a dark chocolate guy.
Yeah, dark
Like
chocolate.
a legitimate dark chocolate guy, like 80, 90, 100% dark chocolate.
I would
And
have
99% before it's delicious.
Reese's peanut butter cups because those are amazing.
Herp likes Angry Hippos instead of Happy Hippos.
He's gonna be an angry hippo once now that you've called him Herp.
Herp,
What is he?
herp,
Oops,
herp,
we already,
herp,
already
herp,
did that
herp,
one.
herp, herp.
If you could
Okay.
make any one guild hall decoration, what would that decoration be? E.g., working computer, statue of yourself, etc.
Statue of my no. Well, I probably
NPC nights. NPC nights, just casually walking around.
Get out! Get out!
yeah,
You
NPC
don't belong here.
guards that kick out anyone that you tell them to kick out.
Yeah,
There
and
you go.
yeah, NPC
I'm
guard, they
beating
actually
the
serve an
claws.
actual purpose instead of just being something standing there and doing absolutely nothing.
Like
I
NPC
would-
enforcers.
I would have a Zang creepy salesman NPC to just walk around and go,
Yeah.
"You don't belong here, and you're bothering us."
So it would have a Morgan Freeman voice.
Kind of. And just
Sweet.
run around going, emblems, bam, personalize your gear, cosmetics for your weapons, and stuff like that.
Like at one point in time, just for 30 minutes, it's running around screaming all that stuff. That'd be awesome.
If here's a suggestion, and this is totally never going to happen, but if Spiral Knights on this April Fool's, if they did an homage to the Spiral Knights community and included stuff like that, for just the one day there were things like that, where it used art and clips from the community and videos and references and things like that to stuff people have done, that would be beautiful, and that should be totally one of them. It's a
Yeah,
cheap Zang NPC that runs around, and it uses the voice clip from the episode and all that, but that's never
So it
gonna happen.
actually does the voice. It actually does that voice.
Yeah.
What are you buying?
If you could eat one kind of monster for Christmas, what would the monster be, and what would it taste like
Oh, damn.
I'm gonna have to
for
say
Christmas?
the
for
jellies,
Christmas.
the Christmas hats on, and it would taste like ham.
What?
Ham and strawberries.
I'm
No,
going with
What would you be eating? It tastes like ham and strawberries.
Jellies with hats.
Jellies.
That's really the only thing you can eat with
I'm
Clockwork
just
Story
gonna go with
Wizards.
I think I would actually want to try eating a wolver. And on Christmas I would want to eat one of the ash tails. I think the charcoal flavor would be best suited because, as well, it would come with like a warm meat flavor, probably tasting like pork maybe.
I'm just totally going to abstain from this question. I feel like it offends my moral view. I'm just kidding. But
I
seriously,
carry around a giant cleaver. I'm literally working in the kitchen every time I go in the Clockworks. Of course I'm going to be able to sample what the Clockworks has to give.
What are you doing? You're eating it?
if you could create one new sprite, what would its name be? What would it look like? What would it do?
Can I just bring up the forum page?
I was about to
posted?
say, let's just recommend TD Lob's retired.
Yeah, if you
thing
want
for this.
our ideas, just look there. I mean, me and Lattice and Sklay kind of shared an idea because he stole my idea. You stole my idea.
I posted for actually you
I
posted first, but
posted first.
I worked on it since
So
I
did
knew about
I.
the I knew about the contest before the contest began. Okay.
That doesn't mean anything. I was thinking about other battle sprite ideas beforehand. I was thinking about boss sprite battle ideas beforehand.
All
But
right.
anyway,
Well,
we
I
came up with a TD Pub themed idea. We thought they were good. They're different, so at least we didn't copy each other.
I would do a battle sprite that you find in the Apocria mission. And it's like a Apocrian battle sprite with like tentacles that go through the ground and stuff.
Oh, that would actually be kind of cool. I'm gonna actually take mine back. I mean, I like my TD Lob sprite, but if I could create one new battle sprite, I wouldn't create one. I'd create one for each of the bosses. So I'd create 4.
you'd create little Snarby and
Little Snarby,
Jelly,
Jelly King, a little
little
float-
Rormy, and little Vanny.
Yeah. Except
A
Vanity
little,
could try,
the
would
little
come back. You have my son with you.
a little Vanny, and a little Vanny.
Take him back.
Snarby,
Well,
Jelly,
Vanna
Rocky, and
Jr.
Vanny.
It
That's
kind of it's reminiscent of Chad and Little Chad, Gish and Little Gish, all that stuff.
I was thinking it was more reminiscent of that game Fusion Fall on the Cartoon Network side. The little nanos.
Wow, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's taking me back. If you had to do a podcast on another game, what would that game be, and what would the name of the podcast be?
Farmville.
League of Legends. And I would want it to be called League... I don't know.
League of Podcast.
Podcast of Leagues.
I wouldn't even know the name.
The Podcast of Legends.
Am I playing any other games right now? I mean, I'm playing Binding of Isaac when I have spare time.
Binding of Isaac's not podcast worthy, though.
League of Legends.
It isn't. Actually, I would have a short-lived podcast called The Podcast of Isaac, and it would be about the Binding of Isaac Rebirth expansion / DLC / Binding of Isaac 2 that's coming out, and it would just be very short-lived, and that's
more like a review, though.
No,
it would still be kind of...
Because Biznap and Northern Lion are doing live streams and stuff and talking with Ed McMillan, the creator of the game, about it, and there's new news every week, it seems like, so...
Yeah.
What's your favorite dried and or frozen fruit / vegetable / food, e.g. dried mangoes, frozen pineapples, etc.?
I don't really eat frozen fruit.
I don't really eat like a mountain man, so...
Yeah, I don't really eat
frozen
let me
mangoes.
Think about that.
I mean, if I'm going to eat a fruit, I'm going to get regular apples. You don't have to freeze to eat.
Have you ever had the dried apples? Like the...
Yeah, I've tried them.
Things?
They're not really that great, though. I've also tried dried bananas, and for some odd reason, I don't like those either.
What's your favorite dried or frozen food? Sir Jigsaw says Hot Pocket. Beg pardon?
My favorite fruit would probably be
they work. Technically, they're frozen before you cook them.
Oh, that's true.
So they work.
Oh, he wins. That's totally it. Frozen food, ice cream. Okay.
Yeah, my favorite's probably...
Oh, frozen food.
back to fruits. My favorite is the
those little frozen mini pizzas. Those are my favorite.
Okay.
The little ones that come in like a little bag.
Waffles.
There's like 6 of them.
Yep. Sir Jinx is smarter than any of us. All right, finally, mountain or beach? Beach.
Beach. Lord Hood, don't say mountain if you're trying to go against what we're saying. That's not fair.
I'm not trying to go against what you're saying, but I actually like mountains better. I've seen some pretty ugly beaches.
I've seen some pretty ugly mountains.
Well,
but let's not get into a war of beach over mountain. Yeah, I'm happy with either.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd prefer beach, but if I had to go to a mountain, I'd go to the mountain.
HRPB is just... Okay, that's going too far.
Transmutations.
Do we have any transmutations this week, you guys, or should we just move on?
Like things we want added into the game.
Capes. Okay, next.
No, I'm just gonna I'm gonna bring up this one again. I want the battle sprites to be more interactive. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep saying it.
Sorry, go ahead.
They're AI driven. In my personal opinion, when you say something's supposed to be an AI-driven battle companion, I don't consider it to basically be, essentially, an ability pocket that you can use over and over again. I would expect something that actually has a little bit of AI intelligence.
It's true, and
the most AI intelligence it has is it tilts its head to the side, tilts, looks back. Tilt, looks back. That's all.
I thought I saw mine getting a little friendly with my neighbor's sprite, but other than that...
That's because of how you were standing. You just have... like, your sprite had its... I'm gonna stop there. That's not
Zeddy's making fun of the fact that you said AI intelligence, which is artificial intelligence.
Which can make sense. It's the artificial intelligence.
Shut up, Zeddy. I are smart. I am so smart. I am so smart. SMRT. Wait a minute.
SMERT. I am so smart.
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 But yeah, I just feel like they're literally called AI-driven battle companions.
I I understand your argument about like how they don't auto attack and things like that, but Spiral Knights, just as a reminder, is a hack and slash, not a pet simulator. Also, just as a reminder, as we don't want to be insulted by our audience. We do not support the. We do not condone the insulting of our audience. I just want to make that clear. Okay, continue.
Or of the host.
Condoning the insulting of the audience. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Shut up!
I'm throwing in my
stupid
2 cents
name.
for a transmutation that I would like. Something that's actually a little bit more AI driven than what we currently have. Just a little bit more lively. Something that makes it so we can actually be more interactive with them. That's all.
And we've been through this multiple times before, so I
Yeah,
think sprites are artificial intelligence. Audisfet said it best. I think we're moving on.
Yeah, they're artificial intelligence.
Spiral Order Recon.
I got it. Yikes.
Blither Paladin says battle sprites are not AIs, they're just animated pieces of texture. That's so.
So's
have the
your
ability
face.
to shoot out fire and light and spikes and do other things that would essentially basically make it so we might as well just give the Spiral Knights League of Legends themed abilities. They might as well have just done that. That's essentially
Greenlink says the Arsenal podcast does not condone the insulting of our audience. We do, however, find their ideas stupid and no one likes them anyway. You know, I did. While we're talking about this, and then I really want to drop it and move on because we've talked about this multiple times before, I was realizing only, like, literally this past week that the reason why we got knight portraits and battle sprite portraits and battle sprite abilities was because that's what most other MMOs and hack and slashes have. They usually have character portraits and cooldown attacks that benefit your main attacks and things. So it's kind of a Three Rings trying to be like the rest of the world, where they may or may not have needed to be. And I'm still not a fan of my knight portrait since it doesn't show my accessories. But once again, that's really all I want to say about that. We have a video from Their Illusion called the Shadow Challenge, which was a challenge laid down in the forums. The link to the forum challenge is on the YouTube link. The YouTube link will be in the show notes at sklayelite.com/arsenal, the website. But it's basically run all of FSC using an Acheron and other shadow weapons of your choice. And do the whole thing that way. And he does. And it's sped up to like 400% or something like that, and it's still 10 minutes long. But still, that doesn't sound right. It's either sped up to more or the video is longer, one or the other. And Zeddy gets mad at this video for some reason, by the way. We have this, our very own Cyborg
But
Rocks,
we don't want
who's
to
not
get the
with...
bear angry. We don't want to make the bear mad. Because getting the
Not
bear
poke
mad
the bear.
is bad.
Spiral Recons report a bear loose and rampaging through the clockworks, laying bombs. What is this? He killed Vanaduke with shadow weapons at nearly half the time I spent using shard bombs. So sorry. Their Illusion is the guy though who can throw a freeze vial and then walk to the place where a Trojan spawns and have the freeze vial explode on the wall behind the Trojan and freeze the Trojan in place. He's that guy. So
He's that guy.
our very own Cyborg Rocks had a piece of art featured on Fan Art Friday, and we just wanted to feature that because A, it's a good picture, B, it kind of looks like El Sato, which is what he was going for, and C, it's Cyborg Rocks, who's a friend of ours. So, and Zeddy says, if that doesn't say buff shards already, I don't know what does. I kind of agree.
Yeah.
But there you go.
I
And
mean,
lastly...
I'm going to
Go
be
ahead.
honest, I do like how the shards kind of function, how they look and how they work, but they don't really do as much effect as they should.
They really don't.
No, and they should, considering what they can do.
We should have an episode that's mainly transmutations in the form of here are the things that need changing.
Here are the things
But-
we want to see changed to make the
Yeah.
game a bit better.
Less of adding and more of changing. Like, make this weapon better.
Yeah.
Make the night portrait
Because
work.
when you think about it, if they just altered stuff instead of just adding more and more and more and more and more in, most likely I think the game would probably get a bit more better reception.
There should be some of
Just
both
a
going on.
thought.
That might be a show in the future, so I'll keep that in mind. Lastly, Sir Jinxable had just this morning the Spiral Knights anime episode 3. Where will this go? Question mark.
Episode
And
3! It was actually fairly entertaining.
I was about to say, this one was fun. About 4 minutes in, he's got this great
Just saying.
anime-esque fight scene with, like, the slow-motion standstills of people swinging swords with monsters dying behind them with, like, lines going to the side to make it look like they're moving. So, it's cool. Cyborg Rocks is, wait, I'm here, I'm late, what did I miss? And Klivik says, we're just talking about you. Cyborg, we featured your art that Spiral Knights featured.
Yes.
And we're just about to leave this Spiral Recon because it's a short one this week. Sir Jinxable also had another video that you can check out if you're not already subscribed to him. What's wrong with you? That's if I were a GM for a day, which is kind of silly, but the anime is the main thing.
Well, I have one more thing added on that I actually found on Tumblr that somebody's been posting. This is by Scorched Rework, or whatever the heck his actual name is. I think it is
Mawa.
Scorched Work. It's actually It's actually Night Costume Concepts, based off the names of the characters that are lovable GMs. Currently, he only has Atalanta, Aphrodite, and Helios out, but these are actually fairly good looking.
This is actually a she. This is Mawa Misho, but yes, these are good, and they will be.
It's a she. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I did not know. I don't
That's
know
all
anybody
good.
on the internet.
It's all good.
It is kind of hard to tell sometimes, some of these internet people.
It is
Well,
true.
that's because on the internet, no one can tell who you are.
Also true. Bazaar. Banter. Crackup says, on the internet, no one knows you're a snipe. Alright, so we're talking about bombheads this
Internet,
week.
no one knows you're an Apocrean.
Ooh, boogly boogly boo. These bombheads are mainly, if they're not exceptions, then they are achievable through King Krogbo bribes.
Which
In
will
other
never
words,
happen
you'll
again.
never see them again because no one's paying 25 energy to bribe Krogbo anymore. They either need to reduce the price or make bombheads more likely to appear. Both of which are kind of bad ideas. So I don't know how they're going to fix bribes or if they'll just leave it be, because why fix something that's broken and it's not really broken, it's just not conducive. And there's a lot of these, and they said in the actual description thing, let me find it, available in a wide variety of styles, there's likely one to match any armor set. I'd agree with that, and there's a lot of cool looking ones.
There's the checkered one. There's the one that has a gamepad cross on it. There's the one that's red. There's the one that's blue. There's the one that's gold. There's the one that's black. I could keep going. There's a lot of them. There's a Hallow one. There's a winter one.
Yep.
You think of a style, most likely there's at least one bomb head to fit that style.
Is there a hunter one?
There's an emerald one.
There
with
is
a
an emerald
bright
one.
green fuse. The main features of these, generally, that people look for is the eyes, because there's different shaped eyes, and then the fuse in the back changes colors and things like that. And those are the main things.
Aren't they kind of like the danger costume armors in the fact that they change your your knight's color slightly, like with the fuses?
Well, your prismatic color, your color of choice just doesn't show through.
Yeah,
is all. It just doesn't appear because the bomb head covers your whole face, and so it matches the color that's there. Do you guys have a favorite one? Because there are some generic ones, like the Onyx one, which is just gray. But
to be honest, I don't really like. I don't really like the bomb heads that much. I never really took to them that well. They weren't all that impressive to me.
I have the Prime Bombhead mask and the Azure Bombhead mask. And my favorite out of all the Bombhead masks in existence is probably the Prime Bombhead mask. It has the most clear color. All of the other ones are kind of dull, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think the Shocking, the Fire, and the Frosty are all really cool because they're very specific. Frosty, most of all, I think, because it's just awesome.
If I could have gotten any of them, I really would have liked to get the checkered bombhead mask, but I don't think I'm ever going to get that. The only one I have is a red one, and I think I might have a blue one. And a Hallow one, but I'm not exactly sure on that one. Honestly, it never really took to me that well.
And I'll just throw this out there. There should be more things that look like this, like the toxic bombhead mask, because it's got like creases, like cracks in the helmet that are bright green that goes like down the face.
Could we
now,
get
here's
a
something
D-Lob themed one? Like a
the golden,
like a remembrance? No, one that actually looks more like the one that we see with T-Lob, like the last one of the last images he has with all of his I can't believe Troika's in the background with him holding
the only reason that that's there is because TD Lob's costume was the golden bombhead mask. That's what he used. So, which is an actual bombhead mask that already exists. So,
I just would have wanted to see it like with the crying lines, because when he cried, and it made me have the feels. Because I had the feels.
Silly thing, my younger sister who plays the game has the full pink costume and stuff. When she picked up her bombhead, she got the lovely one.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's like, of all of the ones, it's great, so that's part of her costume. Anyways.
I can't get Steam to work for some reason, and that pisses me off. Why, Steam?
Sorry.
Why you do this to me?
We're talking about the Steam Night Mask next week.
Yep.
So that's a thing, and how the sad realization that I don't actually have it, even though it shouldn't be hard.
Yeah,
and then the Halloween masks.
You have to make 5 friends, and you can get it.
You have to invite 5 people who don't play Spiral Knights on your Steam friends list to play Spiral Knights, and then actually they will respond to your request and play.
Which is actually surprisingly hard to do.
Okay, we're not talking about the Steam Night Mask because we just talked about it. Okay, that's all about the Steam Night Mask. It's like this. It's this Valve helmet. It's got it's the gas mask with a valve at the bottom to represent Valve, and it. You get it the way we just described. Okay, there's no need to talk about that next week. We're talking about the Halloween masks next week, and let's not talk about those right now.
Talk about what?
I'll just cut you guys off with a bumper. How's that?
Ladies and gentlemen, your unique variants.
There is actually literally nothing to talk about here. Just don't forget about the Button Mash charity stream that's happening this Saturday, starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is GMT -5. No daylight saving time to worry about. On November 16th. So that is 3 p.m. in Greenwich Mean Time, and you should totally check it out. We will be there, either in the audience or on the screen, one or the other. Doing things. I might actually try to talk Maroka into doing a Clockworks copycat with me. That would be kind of fun, and I'd love to do it. And I don't know, it's kind of dependent on... That would be me invading on his project, but I don't know. That's that. That's the end of another show.
Yes.
I'd only shout out to Chalk3 for running the Clockworks copycat with me yesterday. That was a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to editing that thing probably tonight and getting that together. So that'll be fun. Looking to see what y'all's response is to that. And if you like it, please let me know, because that's helpful, because I can't tell otherwise. Anyone else? Shout out to Origami Guy for the questions.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Shout out to Origami Guy. I want him to be like to set like an example here. More people should be asking us questions about us, because we want to tell you guys stuff. We want to be able to talk to you guys, and we're happy to be able to let you know what you want to know. Just so long as it's not information that isn't actually necessary for you to know.
Yeah, and preferably stuff that relates to us in the game, I would think, or the game and not us, because it's a Spiral Knights podcast, not a Lord Hood Let Us In Insane podcast. But are you going to shout out to whatever the guy's name is on the forums that begins with a V again? No, Lord Hood's just completely like listening. So.
No, it's nothing to report. Well, there is that one fanfiction I've been following, and it's beautiful.
Which is?
The Journey of Sir Torin, I think.
Who's writing it?
Let me look real quick. Ted Me.
Ted B. Alright. Greenlink, if you mailed me questions, then I'm sorry I didn't get them.
We'll have to save them for the next time.
Yeah. We're happy to answer those, though. That's the end of episode 55. Be sure to tell a friend about us so that we can take over the world when more people fall to our side of the podcast and say yay. to the Arsenal.
Hurrah.
Our little army will go stronger and stronger, and soon enough we will take over.
You can
It
be
is
the
only
first...
a matter of time.
Indeed. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You can call us you can be the first person to call us and give us something to use at 1-678-322-7765 if you'd like to call us on the phone. Find us on Steam. The Arsenal Podcast group hit 160 members yesterday night. So, thank you, and that's fun. You can email us at arsenal@skelelite.com. You can find us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Tumblr, that kind of thing. We just basically use that for letting you know when the podcast is going, like when we were recording and things like that. You can download all the episodes, see all the episodes, see other cool stuff that we do, and see all the links that we talked about in this episode on our website at skelelite.com/arsenal. Add a /forums to that to check out some of the behind-the-scenes things, which is almost nothing nowadays, and also Green Link's radio play project. You can find out about that there. And if you'd like to give us a review on iTunes, that really helps us out. One day I'll get it updated when I can get to the computer that hosts the iTunes stuff. It's now 5 episodes behind, which is silly. That's that. And you can check out our YouTube at youtube.com/skelelite. Channel name got changed to The Arsenal Podcast this week, which I'm very happy about, because that's much better than Skelelite. But that's totally a thing. Also a thing is the end of the episode, so...
Goodbye.
This has been Zang, that's been Lord Hood, that's been Lettuce and Sklay. This has been the Arsenal Podcast, and we will see you next time.
# episode 55.
Geared up and ready to go? Thanks for listening to the Arsenal, a Spiral Knights podcast. See links and listen to previous episodes on our website, skelelite.com/arsenal. Send comments, questions, and audio to arsenal@skelelite.com, or give us a call at 1-678-322-7765.